What do Creole culture, bayou sunsets, and a mid-century dream home have in common? We found them all during our weekend getaway in New Iberia and Jeanerette, Louisiana. From wandering the halls of the historic Albania mansion to dancing and eating our way through the Creole festival to ending each day unwinding on Bayou Teche. This trip blends deep history with serious style. Follow us on this unforgettable journey through South Louisiana, where every stop tells a story and every moment feels like a discovery. Good morning. So, our adventures this weekend have brought us to New Iberia and Jeanerette, which are two relatively small towns in Louisiana that are close to each other. We came in late last night and really just got ready for bed after we kind of explored where we're staying a little bit. But I'm really super excited about where we're staying. It's not your norm in a small town in Louisiana. Most of the time when you think of small little towns in Louisiana, I think about old house, antebellum old houses, big wraparound porches. And this is definitely not your average stay in Louisiana. I was really super stoked to find it on Airbnb, but I'm gonna share that with you. And then later today, we are going to the Creole Festival at the Albania Mansion, and I'm super excited about that. So we'll be sharing that with you as well. And then our favorite places to grab coffee, get food, all the things you need to know if you're gonna spend a weekend where we are. Hey, so let's do a quick walkthrough of the downstairs area of where we're staying. I think you can kind of get a little bit of a preview behind me. Again, not your average stay for Louisiana. All right, guys. So this is where you walk in. Behind me is the door that leads to the little covered parking area. And then, of course, you've got the wall that leads up to the bedrooms. But let's talk about downstairs. First of all, this is definitely a mid-century modern stay. I love that the owners have kept it very original and period accurate. In fact, in the kitchen, one thing I really like, and if you're a mid-century modern enthusiast, you'll appreciate this as well, but like we have the original stove, the cabinets are original. I even bought a cute little microwave. And then I got super excited last night. I hardly ever buy cups for myself, but can we talk about the little retro cup I found at the Rabbit Festival last night? I love it. Okay, so let's continue on. This place really is large, but one of my favorite things are the windows. Look, just the morning sun coming in is gorgeous. Dining room right there. I believe that's a Saarinen. But I think the coolest thing was waking up this morning, looking through these windows and seeing Bayou Teche out there. You can hear my feet squeaking on the floor. Look how beautiful that is. I'll do a tour around the outside of the house and upstairs later. But this kind of gives you an idea of I just feel like this house just kind of keeps going and going and going. Up there, is a loft with a day bed. So cute. And there's some stairs that go up to it. So there's 2 sets of stairs. And then this is a hallway that leads to back around to the kitchen. It's got a deck out there. This leads back around to the kitchen. And another bedroom. So this is where we started our tour. And then we have a bedroom and a bathroom, little bathroom off to the left. A very period bedroom over here with a little sitting nook right there. One thing that I really love about this bedroom is if you look up there, do you see that corner glass? I mean, granted, it's not a view per se, but the way they put that glass in there is pretty cool. So I think, you know, take note. If this is someplace that you want to stay, you definitely need to appreciate period accurate furnishings, and the fact that it is an older house. You definitely don't want to come here and expect perfection unless it's that sun coming through those windows. Look how gorgeous. And just the way that this ceiling just, I don't know, pan up. And with there's skylights across the whole ceiling. Creole Festival, and we're at the Albania Plantation. And the Creole Festival today, they do it once a year, so you want to make sure that you check it out next year, or if you're anywhere near Jeanerette, Louisiana, then check it out today. But it includes a gumbo cook-off, they've got a petting zoo, they've got jump house, so all the kids, fun stuff, and fun stuff for adults too. So we're gonna be tasting some food and hopefully seeing inside there and showing you around the whole property. So a little history about the Albania Plantation, located along Bayou Teche in Jeanerette, Louisiana. It was built by Alexander Grevenberg in between 1837 and 1842, and after he passed, it was run by his wife, Euphemie Fuselier, and the Elaine family. So the plantation was over 6,500 acres, and it was a working sugar plantation. To be fair, it was built and operated by slave labor, which we all know is a dark history of our past in Louisiana. In the 1850 census, we know that Grivenberg owned 183 slaves. So we know that Grivenberg passed away in 1851, and Euphemie then ran the plantation until 1885. After Euphemie, Samuel and Isaac Delgado acquired the property, and they bequeathed it to the city of New Orleans. In 1957, the city of New Orleans sold the mansion and its surrounding property at a public auction. So Miss Emily Bridges acquired the property from the public auction, and she was the daughter of one of the lieutenant governors of Louisiana. She restored the property and then opened it up to the public. In her heyday, Miss Emily was very colorful, and she loved to entertain. And during her ownership of Albania Mansion, she did have a few in-residence artists. Currently, Albania Mansion is owned by a doctor out of New Orleans who also owns a boutique hotel over there. You can rent the house, but it's the whole house. Anywho, they are also very interested in helping Jeanerette get its history back, especially downtown. They also own a store downtown called the Jeanerette Mercantile, which we are going to visit later if we can, if it's open. So I would say that if you were looking at plantations to visit, then stopping by Albania Mansion on Bayou Teche should definitely be one of your bucket list trips. And if you can afford to rent the whole mansion, you absolutely should. Just got our tickets and we're about to do a tour of the Albania inside. And then Phoenix got some stuff from some of the vendors, some artwork. They've got some fantastic stuff here that's all local. Anyway, it's super cool. So let's talk about the history again, just to recap. Albania was originally built by Charles Grivenberg between 1837 and 1842. It was then acquired by the two brothers, Samuel and Isaac Delgado. The brothers then bequeathed it to the city of New Orleans, which operated the surrounding sugar plantation until 1857. In 1857, Emily Bridges purchased the mansion at a public auction. In 2005, a New York artist named Hunt Slonim added the property to his collection of historic homes. Last but definitely not least, Liz and Terry Creole purchased the property in 2023. The Creoles embarked on a comprehensive restoration, including restoring architectural features such as a hidden staircase and a third-floor balcony using historical records. The Creoles have also engaged with the complex history of the mansion by reaching out to the descendants of those who lived and worked on the plantation, including the enslaved, to honor and preserve their stories. This gorgeous example of Greek Revival architecture boasts 9 bedrooms and 9.5 bathrooms. The exterior features include a symmetrical facade, meaning it's balanced by a central doorway flanked by evenly spaced windows. The double gallery veranda refers to the 2-story full-width porches with massive Doric columns. Like most Creole-influenced structures, Albania has a raised basement. The house is built on local handmade brick piers to protect from flooding and allow airflow. Long, narrow windows provide light and ventilation, and some of the windows extend to the floor, and they can double as doorways to the porch, and that's a common feature in southern homes. The interior features include a grand central hallway running from front to back, allowing for cross ventilation, which was a practical design for those hot and humid Louisiana summers before central AC. The chef's kiss of the entryway is the free-floating grand staircase. Unlike staircases with visible framing or support, this graceful staircase appears to hover in space. From the hand-carved banister to the theatrical curve of the staircase that draws the eye up, this staircase is a work of art in and of itself. Some of the other details to note are the Creoles researched and color-matched paint when they could. Many of the rooms retain the original plaster crown molding and ceiling medallions, and nearly every room includes a wood-burning fireplace with original mantels. So here's some fun facts about Albania. In 2006, All the King's Men was filmed at the mansion. It's a political drama starring Sean Penn, Jude Law, Anthony Hopkins, and Kate Winslet. Although it was an impressive cast and the filming location was also impressive, the film bombed and only received a paltry 12% by Rotten Tomatoes. Also, in an effort to enhance the property's ecosystem, a bee yard has been added to the grounds. Last but definitely not least again, tours of the Albania Mansion are available during the Creole Festival. So, the architecture of Albania Mansion is Greek Revival Italianate. Now, here's the interesting thing. You're looking at this side of the house and how gorgeous it is, but this is actually the side that faces Bayou Teche. I mean, the front is just as gorgeous, but this is the back. So normally there would not be cars parked back there because, well, normally it's not the Creole Festival, but this oak tree is absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted to give you guys perspective on how huge it is because Phoenix is standing next to it. Isn't that just gorgeous? And the whole property is, of course, covered in the oak trees with moss that you would expect in Louisiana. Hey there, so I see that you have this called Red Reed.
Yes. So
tell me about this.
Red Reed is a Louisiana sugarcane vodka, the best vodka you'll ever taste. It's 16 times distilled, filtered 3 times. You get subtle notes of butterscotch, vanilla, and caramel. It's very neat, very clean, and it goes down really, really smooth.
And where do you make this?
So it's out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
We partner with What If Distillery.
Okay.
It's off of Airline by Klein Peter.
And if someone wanted to order this online, is that a thing?
So right now we're not available online, but we are in Calandro's out of Baton Rouge, and we should be in Total Wines and Rouse's by the end of the summer.
That is so exciting.
Yes, it is.
Sugarcane vodka.
Yes.
I'm about to taste this. Do you have a sample?
We got a lemon drop, and we have the vodka neat. Would you like to try both, or?
I'm gonna try a lemon drop.
There we go.
Okay, so what are we trying?
Lemon drop.
Lemon drop. Yeah, lemon drop.
All right, y'all.
Yes. Appreciate that.
Okay.
The best lemon drop this side of Mississippi.
That is the best. That is the best vodka I have ever tasted in my life. Now, having said that, I am from Louisiana and do appreciate the sugarcane part of it. But man.
Thank you.
Okay, I can't wait to share all about this.
Red Reed, where are y'all located?
Thank you. After leaving Jeanerette, the Creole Festival, and the Albania Mansion, we move on over to New Iberia. So the town was founded in 1779 by a group of Spanish settlers, and it is one of the few cities with Spanish rather than French colonial roots. It's located along Bayou Teche and was once a regional trading center. So if you're in New Iberia, there is a icon of a bookstore that you absolutely have to visit if you love to read. And it's called Books Along the Teche. And it's where James Lee Burke actually used to have book signings and do all the cool things. So they actually have some first editions there that are still signed. I say still. That are signed by him. They still have some. And I'm walking in right now. I called earlier to see if they had a book called The Last Days of Last Island, which is supposed to be a super cool book, and I'll tell you about it once I pick it up. Favorite bookstore in the world? Hey, I had called about the book. Books Along the Teche is a beloved independent bookstore founded in 1996 by Howard and Lorraine Kingston. The store is known for Southern literature, Louisiana history, and most famously, the Dave Robichaux crime novels by James Lee Burke. So let's dig into my favorite author. Let's talk about James Lee Burke. He centered the Dave Robichaux series around a detective living in New Iberia. Burke himself lived in New Iberia and drew heavily from the culture, scenery, and people he encountered while there. In 2016, Books Along the Teche launched Books Along the Teche Literary Festival. The festival takes place in April, and you can look it up on the bookstore's website. So I just went to Books on the Teche, and one thing I've talked about a lot is when we're visiting a town, I like to find local stores to support, and it's super exciting that I love to read, and this particular one is really near and dear to me because I love James Lee Burke. I actually kind of fangirl over him a little bit. I wish I had gotten to meet him before I moved to Montana, because he did used to actually hold book signings in New Iberia. Anyway, the book I got today is called The Last Days of Last Island, and it's the hurricane of 1856. It's Louisiana's first great storm, and Last Island, which you can't visit there today, or I would do a video of it on a trip there. But it used to be a resort town, and a beautiful, huge resort on it, and it's where all the wealthy people used to go. And then this storm came along, and of course back then we didn't have the Weather Channel or the weather people to let us know, and so when a storm hit, it was usually it's definitely by surprise. And so this one in 1856 came along and completely wiped out the entire island, the resort. Hundreds of people perished, and now the only thing left of Last Island is like three little bitty, really little bitty, I wouldn't even call them islands anymore. Maybe I'll get a boat out there one day. I would actually love to see where it was. But that's my next read. Right now I'm finishing Teche, which is a great book. I'll show you that to you at some point. But this one, again, Last Days of Last Island, and it should be a great read. So, all right, we're headed back to the Airbnb, our amazing mid-century modern, and I'm going to pick Phoenix up, and then we're going to come back down to downtown and eat dinner, and it's going to be between Bojangles, weirdly enough, which is a sushi restaurant, and very good considering New Iberia is such a tiny little town, or they do have a new Mediterranean steakhouse here, so I'm going to ask her which one she's going to want to go to, but knowing her, it's probably going to be sushi, which I'm good with. Downtown New Iberia, located right along Bayou Teche, is as rich in history as the bayou it sits on. The downtown district was added to the National Register on December 13th, 2017. The buildings range in dates from 1870 to 1967. On October 10th, 1899, a devastating fire known as the New Iberia Conflagration swept through the downtown, destroying numerous buildings. The blaze began when a lantern exploded in a warehouse behind one of the drugstores. One of the few buildings to survive the fire is the Bazis building, making it the oldest in the downtown area.
Hi everyone. Right now we're at Bojangles. I chose it because it's sushi and I like sushi.
Yes. Okay, so I got the Ichiban roll, and Phoenix got Hanani and
Honey and Naruto.
Naruto. Hanani.
What the freak? Alrighty then.
Yay! Yay, Saki. So we are back at our Airbnb along Bayou Teche, and the sun is setting. And it is absolutely so beautiful and peaceful. We're gonna call it an early night and enjoy the ambiance of the Airbnb and read. But one thing that I told you guys I would tell y'all about was the other book that I was currently reading before I start the one about Last Island. So this one is called Teche, and it's a history of Louisiana's most famous bayou. And it's written by Shane Bernard. And one thing that Phoenix always likes to laugh at me about is when I'm reading this book, I'm always like, oh my God, did you know? Hey guys, did y'all know? Hey, did you know? So it's really just really an amazing book. One of the things that I did not know about Bayou Teche and really kind of took me by surprise, which is weird because it seems natural that this was happening. But there used to be steamboats that went up and down Bayou Teche delivering goods that they picked up along Bayou Teche, and then they take them over to New Orleans and then ship them out across the world. So the steamboats took me by surprise. And one thing that's in this book is a rendition of a steamboat along Bayou Teche. And it was done in 1874. It says, a steamboat on the Bayou Teche unloads at New Iberia, which is where we are, 1874. University Archives and Acadiana Manuscripts Collection. So University of Louisiana at Lafayette. So it's very impressive that this peaceful little bayou that you see behind me now used to be a hub of worldwide marketing. So I guess that's my history lesson for this evening. I'm going to go read more about Teche and bug Phoenix by saying, oh my God, did you know? And then tomorrow morning, I'll take you to our favorite coffee shop in New Iberia. Okay, so I'm going to do a little quick tour of the outside. It's still early morning, but look at that. The architecture of it is super cool. And the way they did those pilings, the whole place is really cool. But I'm going to show you just how close it is to Bayou Teche. So we are right on Bayou Teche. I was watching earlier a few little ducks swim by. You see the lily pads. What a beautiful setting. Now, I'm not an architect, obviously. But the way that they have this place built is just amazing. And I don't know if you can see right now, but they did the same wood on the outside underneath as that's inside. So it's a seamless transition from outside to inside. Ooh, so it's our second morning in New Iberia. It's our last morning. We're about to leave to head back home, and I'm on my way to go get coffee. Phoenix is still asleep. She slept with me last night. The number of historic buildings and homes is one of the many reasons I love New Iberia. The East Main Historic District, which was added to the National Historic Register in 1983, covers 30 acres and it comprises 71 buildings, with 57 being recognized as contributing properties. You might ask, what does a contributing property mean? In fact, I didn't really know and I had to Google it. So a contributing property on the National Historic Register means that said building adds to the district's historical integrity or significance. What that means specifically is that, one, it was built during the district's defined period, and in this case, that's 1834 to 1933. The building is architecturally intact and retains most of its original design materials and workmanship. It's historically relevant and helps tell the story of the area's development through architecture, function, or association with events or people. Two of the most notable structures in New Iberia in the East Main Historic District are Shadows on the Teche, built in 1834, and Steamboat House, built in 1896. Two of New Iberia's largest festivals are the Sugarcane Festival, which is held in late September in downtown New Iberia. This festival honors the local sugarcane industry with parades, live Cajun and Zydeco music, a carnival, cook-offs, and festival queens that reign over it. Then there's the Spanish Festival, which is held in mid-April in the downtown plaza. This festival also has festival queens, and it celebrates the town's Spanish heritage. The Spanish Festival features cultural performers, a 5K race called Running of the Bulls, and of course, Cajun food. New Iberia, although small in size, is large in influence. There's a few of New Iberia's most notable individuals I definitely need to mention. Dr. Emma Wakefield Palais, born in New Iberia in 1868, she was the first African-American woman to graduate from medical school and practice medicine in Louisiana. Clifton Chenier, known as the King of Zydeco, was born in New Iberia in 1925 and is a Grammy-winning musician. Okay, so we are pulling out of the Airbnb in New Iberia.
Yes.
And it was a super fun time. What was your favorite part, Phoenix?
The living room. Like there was like a loft upstairs and like there was a bed on it and a day bed. And then there was like the whole bayou.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It was very peaceful. You took a nap up there, I
I
believe.
took a very long nap up there.
Okay, what about the Albania? What was your favorite part about
The dog.
the yeah, the dog? We did.
His head? Dude. His head was, you see how my head is like this? His head was like that.
So I'll
Kid
include
you
the
not.
picture. I'll include the
Yeah.
picture of her with him next.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
so
dog was awesome.
overall great weekend trip, and
Pretty
yeah, now we're on our way home. What a journey through time and culture in New Iberia. From mornings spent soaking in the sunlight at our dreamy mid-century A-frame Airbnb to afternoons exploring grand plantations in downtown New Iberia, this trip has been nothing short of unforgettable. We wandered through the vibrant colors and soulful sounds of the Creole Festival, stood under centuries-old oak trees, and traced the stories of people who shaped this land, from Acadian settlers and Spanish founders to African-American trailblazers and their ancestors who were enslaved. And always nearby, winding and whispering, was Bayou Teche, calm, constant, and full of stories. Whether you're a history lover, foodie, or just someone in search of a place that feels both rooted and alive, New Iberia is the kind of place that stays with you.